Michigan an outstanding way for 4 years, and for a couple years here, and we're a group of classy kids that love their school, they love the sport, they play the game hard, they train hard, and that's all you can ask. And things didn't go our way today. We had a tough outing early, and we were asked to rebound and respond, which is what we've asked them to do all year long, is respond and be resilient through all the hard knocks. And so this group they definitely have seen their share of hard knocks, and they played their best ball at the end of the year. Today we just fell short. It wasn't our best day. And that's a tough way, but awfully proud of Lauren Durkowski and her fellow senior teammates, because what they've done here at Michigan, 2 Big Ten tourney titles, and a whole bunch of wins to go along with it, and represented Michigan. And they're not just Michigan softball players for 4 or 5 years. They're sisters in our program for life.
Questions?
Your guys' tournament is obviously coming in a little bit sooner than expected, but at the beginning of the season, I don't think a lot of people would have expected you guys to be here. Coach, can you talk a little bit about how proud you are of your team's effort in the Big Ten tournament and now here, even though this loss is coming a little bit early?
We knew what we were made of, right? Like early in the season, of course, you have high hopes. We had thought that we could make a really deep run into the postseason tournament, and that at times that belief waned, but then we got back to it. We got back to believing who we were, and incredibly proud for picking ourselves up. And I have to say to one of the tri-captains here to my left, they really picked us up. When we needed them the most, they stepped up. And it's really great modeling for people to my right. So just thrilled for the groundwork that these seniors and these captains have laid for the legacy of Michigan softball to continue.
You know, you mentioned that they're never giving up in the fight this year, and that Big Ten tournament was the biggest sign of that as you came into regionals this weekend, and it was all led by, like you said, the senior in the circle. So can you talk a little bit more just about Durkowski's impact these last couple seasons on the team, and what you really takeaways from her as she led this final march for you guys this year?
Well, there's nobody we wanted to put the ball in her hands other than Lauren Durkowski, and she was going to lead the charge. And we've asked a lot of her in 3+ years, and she has answered every call. And she has taken it. She's wanted the ball. She's wanted to get better. She has worked endlessly in summers to get herself better for Michigan softball. And she loves the game. She loves to compete. She loves her teammates. She loves Michigan. And when you have a player like that, you know you're being led by an outstanding individual. I wish that we could have done more for her today, and played better for her today. But she's left her mark on Michigan softball, and we're a tradition of excellence in Michigan softball. So that's, she's going to be one of the standards that we look to in future years.
Yeah, and Lauren, obviously those final 2 innings coming in were reflective of the work that you've put in these past few years, just getting those outs that you need to give Michigan a fighting chance, especially all the great work you've done this past week going back into the tournament. So can you just talk about what it was like to just kind of come in and play, the way you've played these past 4 years with those final 2 innings?
Yeah, I'm going to try to get through this without crying, so bear with me. I think it's been an honor to represent Michigan, and every time you step on the field, you're out there for something bigger than yourself. You have a team of 25 girls, our whole staff, everyone that works hard behind the scenes as well, and you go out there and you're representing the 8 letters across your chest, and it's no longer a game about you, it's a game about the team. So just going out there and doing what I can do every single day. I mean, I love this school, I love these people, and there's no place I would rather spend my 4 years with.
One of the things that I think you guys unfortunately struggled with a little bit today was fielding. It seemed like a lot of balls were taking a lot of bounces or just weren't able to corral them. Was there something in the conditions today, or was there something else going on that kind of made that?
No, it's I just kind of point back to it's just not our day. We got some in between hops there, and you're right. 5 of their 10 runs were unearned, and so that's tough to stomach. But that's part of the game. It's part of the game, and we've been so good the last 2 weeks because we played really crisp and clean defense. Not perfect, but really clean for the most part. And today we opened the door for Texas. You can't allow a team like Texas opportunities, and we did so in a 4-pitch walk, and we did so in a fielding error that really opened up the game. And then, as I said, this last game, only 5 of the 10 runs scored against us were earned. It's just the way the game. It's not for lack of effort. Sometimes the ball does take an odd hop, and sometimes it's just not your best day, and that's what we experienced today. So it's tough because I think that we did a lot of what we should have done offensively against a really tough pitching staff. We out-hit them 11-9, and we scored in numerous innings. I think we scored in 4 of the 7 innings, and that's what you ask your team to do. Really keep coming at the opponent.
It's a tall task to try and stop that Texas offense in the morning, but could you talk a little bit about your strategy going into pitching changes today, mainly starting with Emerson Aiken to replace Durkowski in the 4th?
Yeah, absolutely. We thought we changed the pace with Emerson. Emerson throws a good 7-8 miles an hour different than Durkowski. And we thought, let's get her through at least an inning and then bring Aaron in. It didn't work out how we had anticipated. And unfortunately, when we got to that point and then we got behind by a few more, you don't necessarily want to put Aaron in because you think you're going to see Texas again, or you have to win this game and rest her. So it's a tough decision, and they end up scoring 9 runs in that one, and it was the game. And so that's the decision I made. It was the wrong decision. But that was the intention, to change the pace and the speed and the timing of the hitters.
I guess I have one more question here for you, Ella. Just, as next year you go into your 3rd year with the team and the kind of fight you guys showed as a team this year, there has to be some big takeaways you have as you kind of settle into a more upperclassmen role next year. So what have you learned from these veterans on your team this year that you're looking forward to adapting into your own game going into next year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we had just amazing captains and amazing seniors to look up to this year. Watching Dirk this past 2 years in the circle, just being a workhorse and just being a big leader to look up to. These past 2 years have been full of a lot of learning, a lot of growth, and I just see the sky's the limit for our team coming into next year. And obviously, there was a lot of ups and downs as there is with this sport, but just being able to get a tournament title this past year was just so awesome to get one with this group. And I see just great things coming for us in the future. We just got to keep our nose down, just keep working hard, and just keep getting after it. And work ethic will set us apart, and there's always room for growth. So I'm just super excited to be playing another year in an upperclassman role with Team 49.
Yeah, and so obviously you guys have won a lot of Big Ten tournament titles, but I think last week's beating Oregon and UCLA in the process of doing it kind of puts it into a different context with Michigan still being on top of this conference that now has some of the biggest program in the sport. Does that make you guys feel better about your competitiveness, both especially on a national level in the years to come?
Well, actually, I mean, the message to the team in the locker room is that, we've had plenty of highs and plenty of lows this year, but we're never, ever going to drop the standard. And the standard of Michigan softball is championships. Our championships. That's the standard. Whether it's Big Ten titles, Big Ten tournament titles, or national titles. And every single year, getting to the Women's College World Series is what our mission is. And, it's going to take getting better, adjustments and making tweaks and doing things at a higher level, and surrounding themselves with teammates that aspire to do the same thing. And as much as we'd love to continue to recruit great kids in, we're going to lean on all the people that are in the program right now that have a really solid base. But there's a lot of work to be done, and we're going to take a short time off here, and then this group is pretty motivated. I don't know if I've seen a Michigan softball team take more swings than this team did this year. They made themselves into the hitters that they are, and and a staff that has worked incredibly hard. So that's the standard. And I ask them every year, what's going to be our competitive advantage? Because everybody is working really hard. But what is our competitive advantage is our belief in each other and our mental game and our ownership of what we do every single day. And so, we're going to be in Oklahoma City soon.
Good. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Any questions from the Zoom?
Yeah, I just got one question for Coach. When you reflect on this year and this team, especially the run you made last week, winning that Big Ten championship, getting back here to regional, what do you remember about this team?
Well, I'll just remember the grit and the passion, the kids that, recognize that things didn't go as they had anticipated, but they stayed in the fight. They stayed in the fight always, and especially at the end of the year when their backs were against the wall, and we knew we had to get wins and possibly win the Big Ten tourney title. They didn't shy away from it. And it was the same belief coming into today. I really do believe that the first 3 innings of the game, we had absolute belief, and things just turned in a different direction for us. But that's what I'll remember, is just their work ethic. And if you're a fan of hard work, then you're a fan of Team 48.
Anything else?